Hello and welcome to today's Live on LinkedIn hosted by SALT.agency. My name's Holly and today I'm joined by Dan Taylor with whom I'll be discussing AI and the travel sector. So that'll be everything from Google's AI overviews to Meta AI and how AI stands to disrupt how travel brands affect travelers. Dan, hello.
Hi Ollie. Hi everyone watching live on LinkedIn as well or on the playbacks.
So Google has always been involved in the travel sector and recently has had to change its approach with things like hotels and flight search features and other things. Do you think it will continue to pursue travel with its AI overviews feature?
I think probably without a shadow of a doubt, Google will continue to pursue travel. So the DMA legislation that's coming recently has meant Google's had to dial down how it uses the flights and hotels function in search, which is very similar and potentially had legal precedent on a bit of legislation that affected Yandex 2-3 years ago, in which Yandex were told to dial down their search features across different verticals in their native markets were Russia, Turkey, Kazakhstan. Google's always wanted to go after the travel market over a decade ago when they went around buying up data, when they started getting direct feeds on like OTAs for things like the flights tool, even like hotel booking tool, things like that. Even ran through to the point it made its own travel guide content, and that is ranking for a number of queries now. And there's a lot of money in travel, and there's a lot of money to directly book and use Google's services for percentage fees, but there's also a lot of money for Google in it to have others pay for prominence in certain areas and certain features, and as well as ranking things in any kind of organic manner. AI overviews, I think, will be a little less aggressive, but all the data showing us as it is that AI overviews are quite heavily informational, and travel is quite it's kind of the funnel in travel is more like a mushroom. You have a really large kind of toadstool top, which is your research phases. I think recent McKinsey data cited that something like 40% of all respondents used search engines to actually find stuff, which is actually the second highest. I think family and friends, like word of mouth, was the highest, about 50%. And then dropping from the 40% on search engines, it dropped heavily down to like 37 to online booking platforms. And then destination and hotel specific sites were 20-25%. Travel blogs, I think, were about 20%, 21% on that. So the informational space is highly competitive. And with AI overviews appearing predominantly for informational queries at this moment, and the research phase being huge, because very few people just go on a website and book a holiday. If you're going for something last minute, well, that's a very small percentage in each intent. If you're wanting to do something considered, you're wanting to really invest in an experience, which we've also got to remember for a large number of people, travel and going on holiday is a luxury. It's quite an expensive outlay of disposable income, so it's a highly considered purchase. And the more research goes into it, the more AI overviews have to intercept and change that journey from the traditional search journey.
So travel brands have quite the challenge ahead of them with AI overviews causing all this competition. How can travel brands adapt their SEO strategies for the era of AI?
I think what's important to really understand is how users perceive and find your brand, your offerings, and ultimately book for you in the first place. If people are doing that heavy top level research to begin with and filtering through to you, it's about understanding where you actually first appear in that journey. It's very difficult in such a competitive sector to be almost omnipresent all stages of a research funnel. But if you rely on somebody finding your brand midway through, it's about understanding what that journey before they found you looks like, and then understanding how AI overview and not just AI overviews, because if we talk about the general era of AI, it was Meta AI in there as well. There was Perplexity, there was all the other AI kind of engines. How they interact and how frequently they appear on that journey before you become an interaction point. And that's important to note because, and I've said this in other sectors as well, verticals, if you're if you're basically relying on people to find you midway through a funnel, and historically people might have searched, I don't know, best places to visit in Italy, and before then you had your TripAdvisors, you have potentially a couple of well-known travel blogs, probably like Guardian Travel and all the rest of it kind of coming up. They do a list, and you'd relatively understand what was on that list. You'd understand your place on it. It might be refreshed every year, but you'd have a level of stability. Because AI overviews pull from all across the internet, they might be presenting something very different to what is on those lists. So that's an instant divergence from what the previous kind of travel journey would be. And with that divergence, there's new paths. So you also need to be aware of what your upstream looks like from when travelers find your brand and your services, but then be aware of what that almost umbrellaing of new paths and new journeys look like, how many of them are relevant to you, and how you can then be present or how you can then re-intercept at different points, I guess. Because if you're just focusing on where your interaction point is, it's like you're at the bottom of a stream collecting water and you're not aware that something's blocking you further up. By the time you've run out of water at the bottom, that issue will have been happening for a long, long time.
I think we've definitely established a lot of the challenges that AI overviews pose across all sectors. But we've also got Meta AI on the horizon now. It's delayed in the UK and EU, and it's already got 400 million monthly active users, according to Zuckerberg, at the Meta Connect conference this week. So how will Meta AI disrupt the travel industry?
I think Meta is a very interesting one because, I mean, we can talk about multimodal search for a start, and we can talk about the impact and the fear that we've had, like with TikTok, for example, and how TikTok is the new search engine and whatnot. Multimodal search isn't new. It's been a thing since your TikTok, since everything else, and how people are discovering new things online. I'd even dare say as far back as like Pinterest being a discovery engine and eBay and Amazon being product discovery engines, and like Shenma in China, for example, which is primarily for products. Historically, I mean, if you think about your user journey, you'd probably be, say you're arranging a group holiday with friends, you'd have a WhatsApp group, you would go on Google, you'd post links to hotels, you do different things. But with Meta AI, you can natively and will be able to be natively able to do that within WhatsApp itself. So you're actually taking someone away from that search journey and moving them into a different kind of path altogether where there's no Google interaction. And it's my belief at the moment Meta is using Bing data as well. So then also you need to think about your Bing performance and different elements there. But the important thing is it's delayed in the EU and it's delayed in the UK, but the US, China, their contribution to GDP of tourism is huge. I think they're the two largest in the world. 400 million users without the UK, and so that's 400 million monthly active, I believe it was as well, using it, not including Europe and the UK, which is a very ripe market, a relatively affluent market, a relatively travel pro market. It's only going to get worse in the impact, and it's that two-side then of people are using Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, all the other Meta products to do that journey instead of going to Google on that traditional organic journey. But then also what is being returned in there will be different to what that journey was. They got a journey being lost as well as new journeys being brought about. And that again comes back to monitoring that upstream and being aware, being present, being mindful of what that wider impact could be. And that's even before people get to the stage of wanting to look at, I don't know, what the reviews are like. Is food good? Can I have a swim up room? How far am I from a beach? How far am I from a town? Does it have a shuttle bus to a town? They're all really niche things that come much further down that user journey funnel, but might get pulled up further up because when AI does summaries and generative engines do their summaries, it will pull things through like that. It could say this hotel is nice. A lot of people really like the rooms or something because it's that added flavour and the added superfluousness that isn't necessarily wanted at that stage, but it can skew views and change the journey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge AI is such a huge thing. Like, it encompasses so many different elements across the internet. Really, really interesting insights there, Dan. So just to bring this live on LinkedIn session to a close, I want to thank you, Dan, for joining me here today, and everyone who's been watching live or who watch on playback, either here on LinkedIn or on YouTube. If you have enjoyed this session, please drop a comment and follow the channel and stay tuned for more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.